Imagine you are a sales engineer at a manufacturing company and a new RFQ or an RFP lands in your inbox. Now, before you can even decide whether it's worth pursuing, you need to review the technical specification, the certification, the production, the testing requirements, and commercial terms. And in many cases, this means involving multiple teams across engineering, production, finance, just to determine if you should bid or not. And the result of this is that hours or sometimes days are spent evaluating opportunities that may not even be a good fit. So this is where AI can create real value for manufacturing sales teams. Instead of say focusing on prospecting or lead generation, what we have done is we have built a Claude skill that analyzes an RFQ, compares it against your manufacturing capabilities and generates a structured bid no bid recommendation, along with technical, operational and commercial risk all within minutes. So let's see how this works. Now, first, what we do is we try to understand that for the Claude skill that we are going to build, how are we going to engineer the prompt? So we need to understand what are the different components, that is giving a defined role to the Claude skill to evaluate the RFQ from multiple business perspectives, giving it an explicit objective to give us an output as a bid or no bid decision. Then explaining it the different aspects of the assessment of that RFQ against the manufacturing capability document that we might give it. That's wherein it understands whether there is an opportunity for us to say fill the gaps, manufacture more, or for us to get certain certificates to align with what the RFQ is. And eventually we get that as an output, that is the overall bid score and the recommendations. So this is what we did, and we converted this complete detailed assessment into a particular prompt. So as you can see here, this is how we created the prompt, wherein we triggered the custom skill creator. We entered the complete prompt that we had in place along with every single detail. Post that, Claude asks us certain questions that how are we going to say add our manufacturing capability database? Will it be in sort of PDF, document, spreadsheet, or what format will it be? So we mentioned that we will be uploading a file. Then we wanted to understand how would we want to also get our primary output. Do we want it in a document format? Because oftentimes what happens is that sales teams have to present their evaluation to the management. So if it's in a structured document, then they can directly show that to the management as well. And at the same time, we would also want Claude to ask us questions if it feels that no, this is something that is not getting fulfilled by our current manufacturing setup, but there is a potential of adding certain things to, build it or to align with it. Next, it asked me that, okay, what are the industries that I have to be focusing on, and how would I want it to frame the questions that it would want me to answer. Then after doing all of this, it created that complete RFQ skill. So as you can see over here, we have the RFQ analyzer skill that is created, wherein it takes all the inputs. In the form of inputs, what we are doing is we are going to upload two documents. One is the RFQ document itself, and second is a manufacturing capability database that we'll be uploading. So both of these documents look like this, wherein we have a sample RFQ document that includes the project overview, the requirements, and any additional note that it has, and the manufacturing capability database that explains that, okay, what is the current capability of the company and what all things it can do. We have even highlighted the historical projects to give an idea as to what all things we have done. Now what we are doing is that if you see, after it gets the input, it asks those clarification questions based on specific components that include say the technical, commercial and capacity related or production related questions that it has. And finally, as an output, it generates a complete bid report. So we'll quickly see how we actually run this. So we did a test run over here to show you how this works. So when we called this particular Claude skill, what it did is it first requested for the inputs, wherein the two documents that I showed, we had inputted that. And finally, if you see, it has understood or gotten a quick brief of it and it has asked certain questions. So there are technical questions that say, for example, if the RFQ mentions a particular parameter as something else, and if there is a certain gap in it, then it even tells us like over here that by adding this, is there an opportunity for you to meet this particular requirement? So that is an option for us to also understand that if there is a gap, are we flexible enough to fulfill it or not? In terms of commercial, what we have seen is that the biggest roadblock for any company that is evaluating RFQs is the credit period and the payment terms. So you need to let Claude understand that how flexible are you in terms of the payment terms, or are you rigid with what you have in place. Then next is the importance of certification, because a lot of tenders, RFQs, they need certain certifications to ensure quality commitments. So we understand that if they say for example a certification that is not part of our capability, then we can either apply for it or we can take it, or we can just ensure that no, this is not a right time to take up this project. Then in terms of capacity, it highlights that if say the requirements is certain, and say if the requirement is certain, and if we are manufacturing up to a maximum certain capacity, then can we increase it over time or not? Finally, after answering those questions, what we get over here is a complete qualification report. So as you can see, I have my qualification report right here, which is a very structured document that Claude has created, which is something that you can directly show to your management as well. So as you can see over here, we have the complete overview of the opportunity. We have the technical fit assessment, we have the certification and compliance, the capability assessments, and other details. And finally, we even have our scorecard. So that is how this particular document gets created. And that is how we have used Claude Skill to do something different from just prospecting or research for sales team. And this is one of the most practical examples of how AI can create value in traditional manufacturing organizations. Now, if you are exploring how to use Claude Skills and if you have an interesting use case in mind, please put it up in the comments below. And if you found this interesting, please like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much for watching this video.